Hey, so you want to know who Jesus is? Well, here's what you got to know first. Before there was anything, there was God. God, the eternal source of truth, goodness, and beauty, created the universe to share this truth, goodness, and beauty. Now, that includes Adam and Eve, the original parents of the human species. He made them in his image, and what that means is that he gave them free will. Now that includes the free choice to reject or accept God, and by proxy, reject or accept truth, goodness, and beauty. Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what they chose to do. And so, they allowed death to enter into the world and severed God's relationship to man. But it wasn't the end of the story. God made a promise. He promised in Genesis 3:15 that one day there would be someone, an anointed one, a Messiah in Hebrew or Christ in Greek, who would come and reunify God and man as was always supposed to be. God created the world so that we could enter into rest, acknowledge him, commune with him, because he's the fulfillment of all the desires of our heart. Well, either way, flash forward a couple of hundred years later in the land of Ur, and there's a man named Abram. God elects Abram. He tells him his descendants are going to be used to bless the whole world. But Abram still isn't the Messiah. God asks things of him like sacrifices, not because God cares about the blood of goats or cows, no, but because it's an act of acknowledgement. It's a step towards that union that we were always supposed to have. Well, one of Abraham's descendants is a man named Moses. And through Moses, God introduces his law, written out for us to follow, our means of being unified to him. But here's the issue. We can't live up to the law. We're imperfect because of Adam and Eve's original sin. We have a proclivity to sin, concupiscence it's called. Well, flash forward a couple of hundred years more, and you have King David, another descendant of Abraham, and he's great, a man after God's own heart, but he's not this prophesied one. He's not the fulfillment of the law. No, instead it's one of his descendants. As God promised, David would have a descendant, and his kingdom would have no end. Who is this? Who is this son of David? Well, as the Bible tells us, Jesus. Jesus Christ, the anointed one, it was born of the Virgin Mary, and he died and was crucified. Why? Well, 1 Corinthians 15. The same way that sin entered the world through one man, Adam, we were freed from our debt to sin and allowed to live the law perfectly, and able to be unified with the law through another man, Jesus. So, what is this? Why do we call it the resurrection? Because it's not just about Jesus coming back from the dead. It's about him conquering death and ascending into heaven in bodily form, allowing us to have this perfect relationship with God made man in a way that only is possible because God is omnipresent. Now, how do we do this until Jesus comes again? Well, Jesus instituted his sacraments, things like the Eucharist, that allow us to be unified to him, what we were supposed to be all along. But until then, this is an excellent way.